Our conversation about this horrific tragedy over in Texas with former police chief and former school security chief, Eddie Compass. Eddie, thank you very much. We talked over on the other side of the studio a little while ago about the gun violence we're seeing in this country, and especially at schools. It is something every parent is afraid of now because this is happening far too often.
It's too prevalent right now. You know, you have to be very proactive as it relates to dealing with school safety. When you look at it, sometimes, you know, we had metal detectors in some of the schools, and we used to catch individuals trying to bring weapons into the school with the metal detectors. Now they say it was very intrusive to do that, but if it's going to save lives, sometimes you have to, you know, make hard decisions. And
one of the things we did talk about is guns are so prevalent in this country. There are now more than 400 million guns in America. It's more than any other place on earth. And President Biden said last night, this just doesn't happen in other places. And then you have politicians who say things all the time. Governor Abbott, who is the governor of Texas,
right,
a couple of years ago tweeted out, and this is his words, "I'm embarrassed. Texas is #2 in the nation for new gun purchases behind California. Let's pick up the pace, Texans." And then he hashtagged the NRA.
You know, I espouse to philosophy that individuals have to be trained if they're going to carry certain type of weapons. Assault weapons are very unique as it relates to carrying on a daily basis. So you have to have a certain proficiency in it. You have to make sure the ammunition that you're using is, you know, basically not going to injure innocent people. When they just be so powerful, they go through one individual hits another. You know, when you're dealing with guns that's going to protect you for your household and stuff, you have to be very smart, make wise decisions.
And do you think anything will change? Because right now, we talked about polls in America. Most Americans, 81%, according to the Pew Research Center, say that they'd like to see extended background checks. Not to take away anybody's rights, but make sure that people who shouldn't have a gun don't get a gun. The numbers also from Pew that on the ban for assault weapons, which were banned in '94 and it was rescinded in 2004, 63% of all Americans would like to see assault weapons banned.
Well, when you look at it from that perspective, you know, you have individuals that, whether they're legal or not, they're going to find guns because they're going to do it.
Because there's so many guns out there now.
So many guns out there. They're going to use illegal methods. They're going to be committing burglaries, robberies, where they're actually taking people who have the guns legally, and they're going to basically steal it from them, and then it'll become a weapon that's going to be used for something that wasn't intended to.
But the analogy is that you know, something has to be done, and even small steps. At least it shows that America is making a move toward solving some of these problems. Because, as the president said last night, this doesn't happen in other countries like ours.
No, it really doesn't. You know, and everybody got to have to get together with the best minds in the field and basically come to some type of policy that will basically stop the proliferation of the weapons getting in the hands of the wrong people, where individuals commit such heinous acts.
And the trouble is, guns have become so politicized. You know, a lot of us are gun owners, but you register your guns. It's just like, I have a car. I had to get a license to drive one. Right. I had to register my car. I'm not worried about them taking my car away.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, when you look at it from the perspective of how easy it is to get a gun in this country, I think that's one of the things that's basically adding to the problem that so many people that's not supposed to have guns have guns. You know, we have to put a system in place where we can keep it out of the hands of individuals that's going to use it not to harm, not to do good.
And so many states have either have laws or, I mean, Louisiana tried to get a law where anybody could carry a gun anytime without any permit. You know, in Texas, it's the same way. They have laws like this. This kid who did that shooting yesterday at the school, he bought 2 guns on his 18th birthday, and he just turned 18.
Yeah, that's the proverbial bureaucratic quagmire. You don't want to impede on the rights of law-abiding citizens and individuals to protect themselves and protect their families. But on the other end, when you make it so easy that an 18-year-old with bad intentions can get a gun so easily and commit this type of act, you have to rethink the policy.
And when you were police chief, many times your officers were outgunned by the criminals on the street.
We had many occasions like that, and you know, that's where a real big problem comes in, because officer safety is paramount, and when you're outgunned by the bad guys, it's just a bad situation.
Would you like to see you know, more sensible gun laws enacted on the congressional level that are not just state by state, but affect the entire country?
You're going to have to do something on a universal level, basically looking at it where you have consistency from state to state, and that can only be done on a federal level.
Are you optimistic that's going to happen?
Well, I think we have the right people in place to make it happen. I'm very optimistic. I really am, because when something like this happens, what it does, it galvanizes the community, and it basically galvanizes the legislators.
Well, and we thought that after Sandy Hook, where 20 first and second graders were killed. You know, we're talking about it here where second, third, and fourth graders were gunned down by an 18-year-old, and I just don't see that things will change because of the politics.
Well, I'm going to be more optimistic than that. I'm looking at, we got new people in place, we got new leaders in place, and we're going to have to come up with some type of solution, because like I said, human life is paramount, and things like this just can't continue to happen.
And when you talk to most law enforcement people, they do want to see some, not taking away people's guns, but some better laws on the books that will protect people and police officers. We just saw an officer who was shot this morning over across the lake by a 13-year-old.
Exactly. When you have made guns prevalent and easy to attain, 13-year-olds can do these type of acts. So that's what I'm saying. We have to come up with some type of legislation on a federal level that's universal throughout the states.
I'm glad you're optimistic. I'm not knowing politics. I just don't see that happening. All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right. We appreciate that, Eddie. Thank you. As we said, we are learning more about that shooting in Texas every minute. We're going to keep on top of this story all morning long, and for however long we need to keep on it. You can get the latest information about that shooting and the shooting over in St. Tammany Parish this morning on our website, WWL-TV.com.